Hey everyone, it is Abby. Um, so it's been a minute since I posted. I'm so sorry because I'm supposed to be doing this like weekly or every 2 weeks, and instead it has been over a month. So I might tell you how crazy things have been. It's been good. It's been hard, but it's been good. Um, so I kind of want to talk about a variety of things in this video. Um, there's a lot to talk about. There's the teaching aspect. There's the social aspect, there is the self-care aspect, and then spiritual aspect. Teaching, social, self-care, spiritual, and then I guess experiences. Yeah, those. I'll try to keep it to those 5 things. There's so many things I want to talk about, and I'm really hyped up on caffeine right now, and my mind already jumps all over the place. So I'm gonna try to talk about those things in that order so that maybe this video will make a little bit of sense to everyone. So I will start with teaching. That's what I put with this finger. So we'll start with teaching. Teaching has been good. It's been hard, but it's been good. My mom can attest to this. I've already had multiple days where I'm like, I'm terrible at this. And then my mom talks me off a ledge, or a friend talks me off a ledge, or an old teacher talks me off a ledge. And everything is fine again. Because being a first-year teacher is difficult. Being a first-year teacher online, completely online, virtual, is even more difficult. Being a first-year teacher only online, coming in halfway through the year, very, very difficult. First-year teacher, completely online, coming in halfway through the year, in a foreign country, extra difficult. First-year teacher, completely online, halfway through the year, foreign country, in the middle of a pandemic. Really difficult. Very difficult. I'm learning a new school. I'm learning a new mindset for teaching. I'm learning the kids. I'm learning the parents. I'm learning a new language. Learning the country. Learning the culture. I'm learning a lot. A lot. And I love it. I cannot stress how much I love it. Because some people, some family, friends are going to watch this and they're going to be concerned. They're going to be like, oh my gosh, Abby's drowning. She's struggling. Abby doesn't struggle. This is not what? At what? Is she okay? But I'm telling you right now, it's amazing. It really is amazing. It's hard, but I'm learning and growing so much every day. Like, it's amazing. I cannot believe how much I learn on a daily basis. Yeah, it's fantastic. So teaching, we've got parent-teacher conferences coming up next week. I'm very excited about that because it'll be my first time talking to a lot of these parents. Because the culture here is a little bit different. I feel like the parents are a little less involved, not in a bad way, but I feel like they just communicate less. And part of that might be language barrier thing. I do have to translate my emails that I send to parents into Spanish. So part of it might be that. Part of it also just might be we haven't had any issues. And, if I send out a newsletter or something, not all of them feel like they should respond, okay, thank you, received, anything like that. They just get the newsletter and they let me know if there's a problem, which is fine. And especially me coming in the middle of the year, like meet the teacher stuff, you don't really think about that in the middle of the year. So it makes sense. Nevertheless, I'm excited to finally talk to all the parents and for them to like put a face with my name and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so that's coming up this week. I'm excited about that. My co-teacher is awesome. She's fantastic, super sweet. She's helped me so very much. And I have the class on my own now. My mentor teacher is no longer in our class meetings and Zooms and all that thing anymore. She's not in there with me anymore. So it's all on me now. But it really is going pretty well. I love the kids. They're all very, very sweet. Sometimes I want to rip my hair out over getting them to submit assignments. But I know that is a struggle that every virtual teacher in the world is facing right now. So I've resigned myself to the fact that I cannot stress about work that they do not turn in. All I can do is say, hey, please turn this in. It is up to them. in the end, it is up to them. I've been very lenient with grading this first month just because I know that they are transitioning and I'm transitioning and everything is a big transition right now. So I'm trying not to make it hard on them. I'm trying to make it easy so that we can focus on getting to know each other and building relationships and learning how each other work. And then I'll start, I'm keeping track, of course, of how they're doing with each topic, but we'll start getting into more of your grade is based on whether you learned this or not once we get used to each other. That's my plan right now. I only have the kids for 40 minutes a day, which is very difficult. But I did figure out a way to do small groups, which is super duper helpful. They have this time called RLC, which is basically when they go to a class and they do some more practice with English. So I actually planned that time, but another teacher teaches it because they didn't want to change too much on the students, so they kept her in that position, and that way the kids didn't have another change that they had to deal with, because I would have taken over that normally, but they didn't want them to have too many changes. So she teaches it. However, I talked to her, and she was okay with, she's great, by the way, she's fantastic. She was okay with me coming in and taking half the class while she does the activity with the other half, and then us swapping. So I get to do a little small group time, and I can do little assessments or a little extra lesson or things like that in that time. So that has been a huge help. We just started that this past week, and that has been fantastic. It has helped more than I can express. I also started this huge, I don't know what I was thinking, honestly. It just made more work for me, and it's not required, and I didn't have to do it, but I did it. And I started this binder that has a list of all the essential learning outcomes, well, a page for each essential learning outcome. And I started a list of all the kids' names so that anytime we do an assignment that goes with that essential learning outcome, I can keep track of how they did on it, so I can keep track of what each kid knows and what each kid doesn't know. I just started that this week as well. We're a month in, so I'm now that I'm getting the hang of the things that I have to do, I'm starting to do some things that I want to do, or things that help me, or things that I think will be better for the kids. So yeah, we're starting to get past a survival point and into more of a improvement point, which I'm excited about because I do not like functioning at a minimal survival level, especially not when it's about these kids. That's the whole reason I came here, was to be with these kids and to help them. And so I'm very excited about improving and getting better and growing with these kids. There's something else. Oh, the school's going through accreditation right now, which means I had to upload a video of myself teaching and my lesson plan for the International Accreditation Committee to review as part of whether or not the school gets their accreditation. And it's possible I will be interviewed and asked questions about the school. So that's a little bit stressful, especially considering I've been here for a month. However, I have been assured multiple times that no matter how bad I am, I cannot ruin the school's accreditation. And they were like, stop saying that. You're awesome. It will be fine. I was like, yes, that's very sweet of you, and I appreciate it. But if I'm not fine, is it enough to mess up the school's accreditation? Like, no, of course not. I was like, great. That's all I needed to know. Thank you. Okay, yeah. I think that's about everything about teaching right now. I do have a couple students whose families are not Christian. So that would be a good way to pray for me and for my class, that I can be a positive influence on them, and share the light of Jesus with them so that they will, I want them to meet him. I want them to know him. And so just pray that through me or through the other kids in the class, they will begin to know Jesus and that they will want to start that relationship with him. So yeah, I think that wraps up class. So we move on to social life, I think is what I said next. Social life right now is a little bit I did not realize, I've always been a loner. Everyone that knows me knows that I spend a lot of time by myself. And I'm okay with that. People would always make fun of me because I would go sit at Waffle House for hours by myself. Eat a peanut butter chocolate chip waffle, drink some hot tea, and read a book. and I was more than content. I loved it. So it's a little hard for me to admit that I've had some issues and struggles with loneliness since I've been here. It confirms my suspicions that I'm really an ambivert and not an introvert or an extrovert, but an ambivert, which means that you oscillate between the two. Because I've always been in situations where there were lots of people around, and I knew that I needed a break from that, and that's why I would do my Waffle House dates with myself. But now it's kind of flip-flopped, and I'm by myself almost all the time because we teach virtual. So from when I wake up at 7 in the morning to when my workday officially ends, which is at 3. Normally I'm doing work till like 5:30, but it officially ends at 3. That whole span of time, I'm in a room by myself, which is great, but also not, because I'm an ambivert, not an introvert. So, like I said, learning and growing. I apparently need time with people. Here I was thinking that I'm completely fine by myself all the time, but God did create us for community, so I should have seen that coming. But here we are. But yes, I'm starting to figure out a balance between the two. The other teachers are great, and we're all in the same boat here, so we do things together. We went to Chapala a few weeks ago, which is like a little beach, kind of. It's really on a lake, but it's basically a beach because it's a really big lake. A lot of things were closed, but it was nice because a group of us got together and we had some donuts and coffee, and we went walking, and we actually got kicked out of where we were walking because there was supposed to be caution tape, but somebody had ripped it down, so we didn't know that it was cautioned off. So we were just walking along the sidewalk, and all of a sudden this officer walks towards us, and he's like, "You can't be here." Obviously he said it in Spanish, but I don't remember what he said. And we were like, "Oh, sorry." And so then we left. But it was nice. We walked around. We saw like a little thrift store and things like that. So that was fun. That was a good day. And let's see, what else have we done? For a girl's birthday, we went out to eat at an Argentinian steakhouse. It was really, really fancy. It was really, really good. We had steak, and she ordered bone marrow and let us try it. It was weird. I wasn't a huge fan. It was kind of like, it was like fat. It was like, it tasted like fat, but without being chewy. It was really weird. I feel like it might have been good on bread or something, but we just ate it with a spoon, and it was not. I wouldn't order it. Some people, if you like a lot of fat on your steak, you should try bone marrow because you would like it. I don't, so it wasn't my thing. It was good, but it just wasn't my thing. Let's see. We also got ice cream that night. So good. I got tiramisu ice cream. The way to my heart. Tiramisu, anything. Tiramisu cheesecake, tiramisu, actual tiramisu, tiramisu ice cream, tiramisu milkshake, tiramisu cookie, anything tiramisu. Please. Please. I love it. It might be because I'm addicted to coffee and chocolate. So, tiramisu. Just a guess. But yeah, it was great. So we've done that. Saturday mornings have become my favorite thing. I say we. Sometimes it's a we. Sometimes it's me. Sometimes it's me and one of the other teachers. Sometimes it's me and my roommate, who's also another teacher. But I call her my roommate because that's more what she is to me. But sometimes it's me by myself, which is fine some days, before anyone worries. But yeah, so we usually go like check out a coffee shop, get some of our grading, lesson planning, stuff like that done. Excuse me. And then afterwards, we will like go walk around and explore the city and things like that. And it is a lot of fun. Right, like it's just a lot of fun. We just get out, we get to walk around a little bit, we get in the sunshine, we get some good coffee, we get some good food. It's just fantastic. And I'm very thankful that my roommate, Monica, and we have a lot in common. So we do a lot of things together. Like, she really likes books and music and movies and musicals, and basically all the same things that I like. And she's kind of like me, like she likes to be around people, but she needs time by herself. So we do a lot of like quiet things together. Like today we went to a coffee shop. It was called Nareta. It was, oh my gosh, it was so good. All the coffee shops are good here. I've been to Starbucks maybe 3 times since I've been here. And even that is 3 too many because there's so many good little coffee shops. Like, wow, I do not like going to Starbucks when there's all these good little coffee shops. But Starbucks is closer. So some days that's what I do. But yeah, so we went to this place called Nareta, and they have like gelato and waffles. It's like their thing. You can get a waffle and get gelato with it. Well, we got breakfast, and I got the waffle without the gelato, but then I got the gelato later. But I got it in the form of a coffee float. Yeah, like a root beer float, but with coffee. So it's like a glass of iced coffee, and then they just dump a scoop of ice cream in it. It's so good. It was so, I felt like I was in heaven. And I took the prettiest picture of it, and I loved it. I loved the picture. So yeah, so social life is going good. I still haven't met a lot of new people, because we're in the middle of a pandemic, and I also don't speak very good Spanish yet. So I haven't met a lot of new people yet besides the other teachers, but I'm sure that is on the horizon, and I'm sure it will happen eventually. And if, you know what, even if it doesn't happen, the people I've met so far are great. So if they are the friends that I get out of this experience, I will be more than successful because they are fantastic. So let's see. So that was social life. Oh, I am going to get to go to a actual church service tomorrow. I haven't been able to do that because we've been in Bolton Ruffle, which means like no get-togethers, gatherings, anything like that. But tomorrow I'm going to get to go to a church service, so maybe I'll meet some new people there. I don't really know. We shall see. But I'm excited about it. I'm praying that it's not too crowded and that they are like following the regulations and stuff. Because personally for me, like, I'm not really super duper worried about COVID. But my host family, they do like to be very careful. And as a guest in their house, that's what I feel like I should do, is be very careful because they want to be. And the parents are kind of older, so they're worried about what would happen if they did get it. So, of course, that's what I'm doing. I'm being extra careful because out of respect for them, and you know, I can't even imagine how it would feel if I gave it to them in something. Like I don't even want to think about it. I don't. So I've just been careful. Definitely more careful than I had been in the States. But I've just been very careful. And so tomorrow I'm praying that the church service isn't overly crowded and that they're following all of the suggested regulations. That way I can attend. So yeah, I'm praying that that goes well. So y'all can be praying for the church situation if you'd like to pray for something else. So far we've got the children's families who aren't Christian and the church situation are 2 good things that you can be praying for me for. I think I've already forgotten all my list of 5 things. I know it was teaching, social, self-care. That was the next one. If you know me, you know I struggle with this. So now I'm living, I'm not on my own. I'm with a host family. But I'm living on my own in the sense that like I'm making my life decisions. Like I'm deciding what I eat, and I'm deciding when I get up, and I'm deciding when I go to bed, and I'm being an adult. The adult things. So I've been really trying, really failing, but really trying to get into a routine. And for those of you who know me, you know I'm not good at routines. Not even a little bit. And I hate them. I hate doing the same thing every day. So that's been hard for me. But I am trying to get into a routine. Some weeks are harder than others. Especially the weeks where I'm feeling very insecure about my ability to be a teacher. Or insecure about like the amount of Spanish that I've learned. Or, yeah, all of those weeks. It's very hard. But I am getting better-ish at. I'm really trying to establish a routine where like I get up around the same time, I go to bed around the same time, and it's hard. It's hard because sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like going to bed yet. And some mornings I'm like, I don't feel like waking up yet. And I'm trying to teach myself that Those are not things that you want to do based on feelings. Those are things that you want to do based on what you know that you need. And I know that I need a good night's rest so that I can not be mean. And I can be kind and full of love. But some nights I say, I don't feel like sleeping, and I stay up till 12 and then try to get up at 6 in the morning. And it's not a good idea. It's not. So I've set a bedtime thing on my phone, and I'm really trying to start listening to it. Honestly, I've had it turned on since I got here. And sometimes I'm just like, I'm just going to ignore it and stay up anyways. But I think I'm learning that that's a bad idea, and so I'm trying to stop ignoring it. Let's see, what else for self-care? Oh, the being alone in my room all the time means that I spend a lot of time on my phone, which is not healthy. So at the very beginning of February, phone and computer, I should say that. At the very beginning of February, I decided to do a social media fast. I didn't do a very good job at it. I ended up still getting on. Like I really had every intention of not touching social media for at least a week. But that didn't happen. It started because I was spending more time playing ukulele. And I actually was doing pretty well, and so I wanted to share it, a certain song. And so then I shared that one song. And then I started scrolling. And then the next thing I knew, the next day I wanted to share another song. And then I scrolled even more. And then I started getting messages. And then I started responding to the message. And it was just a big snowball effect. And it didn't happen. It really didn't. So apparently I have a social media addiction. That's really not news to me. I just never paid attention to it before. But I decided I needed to do something about it. So then I set limits on my social media. And so now I've got my phone set to where Monday through Friday from 7 to 3:30, my phone doesn't have like social media apps. The only apps I have available during that time is like Duolingo, so that during my breaks between classes I can practice my Spanish. My productivity apps that I need for school, and like maps and stuff like that, which I, for whatever reason might need in the middle of the day. So those are the only things that I have available from 7 to 3:30. I just started this last week. And then outside of that, I only allowed myself 4 hours, I think, of time on apps, which is all of them combined. Because, and like yesterday, I think it was yesterday, that I decided to ignore if it tried to cut me off. I just said ignore limit for the rest of the day. Well, then I looked and I spent like 7.5 hours on my phone yesterday, which is a lot. And I don't need to be spending that much time. So I'm really trying to cut back on social media and computer usage as part of my self-care plan, because I also think that that would help me get up earlier and go to bed earlier. Well, maybe I shouldn't say earlier, but like in a routine time, because I won't end up scrolling on Facebook and get lost in the sea of things and not go to bed. So, third way you can pray for me for self-care is that I am able to spend less time on social media. I'm trying to think what else self-care. Oh, food! I'm getting a lot better at cooking. I made pasta the other night, and I made the sauce from scratch. It wasn't the best sauce ever. It was actually pretty good. And then I made stuffed bell peppers one night. I made spaghetti one night. I've gotten really good at frying eggs. I love fried eggs. They're so good. And I made this breakfast the other morning. I bought this salsa, and it was not good by itself, but I also had, it was salsa verde, and it just didn't have any spice to it. It just basically tasted like pureed green tomatoes. But I also have this green hot sauce. So, one morning I decided that I was going to sort of kind of make chilaquiles. Not really, because they're like a fried piece of chicken. Anyways, I made a rendition of it. And I used a skillet and put oil in it. And I put pieces of tortilla in it and got them like kind of crispy. And then I fried a couple eggs, put them on top of the tortilla pieces. And I mixed that salsa that didn't have any kick with the hot sauce. I mixed it together until it was like at a good taste. And then I poured it all over the top of it. And Like, I didn't know I had cooking in me. I really didn't. I thought I just was born without that skill. But I'm learning, and I'm getting better. And that's been good. That's been a good self-care thing. And I'm also doing better about, like, choosing things that are healthy for me. It helps when I'm trying to grocery shop 2 weeks at a time. So, like, I'm trying to buy enough stuff for 2 weeks and then go again because we get paid every 2 weeks. And also because I think it's easier to eat healthy if you pick everything out at once and then you have these are the choices that you have. So you can eat these or you can be hungry. So I think I've done better with that. I've eaten a lot of chicken and I've done a lot of, like, taco kind of deals, I guess. Like a tortilla, some pico de gallo, some type of protein, either meat or beans or something like that. And throw some avocados on top and it's really good. And it's easy. I've done a lot of that. I'm once again addicted to peanut butter. It's nice that I'm in a situation where I can have peanut butter instead of, like, I was used to being in schools where peanut butter wasn't allowed because of allergies. And so it's been nice to have peanut butter again. I like it a lot. I eat it a lot. And that probably isn't the healthiest choice, but it's really good. And it's healthier than some things. So I'm going to stick with it. I also drink a whole lot of coffee. A lot. Probably an unhealthy amount. But I do balance it with water. So that's at least one good thing. That's pretty much all I drink now is coffee, water. I've had juice a couple mornings. And that's about it. So yeah, that would be my self-care things. Oh, I'm journaling once a week-ish. I was starting off with every night, but I did not. No, I couldn't keep that up. So now I'm trying for at least once a week. I would like to do more than once a week. But I'm doing at least once a week. And then I'm also, like, trying to track my moods and, like, some goals and accomplishment kind of things to help myself. And I need to start a workout plan of some sort because I sit all day and that's not healthy. I do have some days where I walk a good bit. I do walk a lot. But there are some days where I don't go anywhere, so I'm sitting all day long. So I'm trying to get myself to start doing a workout. But I'm trying. It's so hard to figure out whether that's better to do in the morning or at night. I can't decide because at night I'm like, I'm tired, I don't want to. In the morning, I'm like, I woke up late, I don't have time. So, I don't know. I've still got to figure that out. And I will figure that out. Because I'm quickly finding out that you cannot flip your life in one day. You got to do things a little bit at a time. Otherwise, nothing will stick. So, I'm just slowly forming or trying to form better habits and do better about that. And yeah, I'm learning a lot about what it really means to, like, take care of yourself. And a big part of that, of course, is spiritually. And as crazy as it sounds, I've kind of struggled with that a little bit. Just, like, feeling like I really want to stop whatever I'm doing and spend time and read my Bible and be with God. To be honest, like, that's something that I haven't done as much as I'd like to, or I don't even care to admit how little I've done it in the past year or so. But before, I could blame it on busyness because I was getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night, and not because I was scrolling on social media, but because I was so busy and I had so many things to do that was the only amount of time that I had left at the end of the day. So it was kind of easy to make excuses for not spending time with God because my schedule was so full all the time. And I would, like, listen to worship music and I would go to church and I would pray, in the shower or something like that. Because those are the only moments that I had. And now I have time. And I'm still finding myself not using that time to read my Bible or to spend a lot of time in prayer. So that's something, especially over the past week, I've really been starting to think about and really been wanting to work on. And so yeah, that's something that my focus is on, is, like, reminding myself what it's like to just sit in the lap of God and just sit in his lap and just talk to him and just rest in him and enjoy being with him. That's high on my priority list right now, is really learning how to do that. Just because I'm so used to being busy that I've forgotten what it's really like to rest in Him. And so that's high on my list of um, what I want to focus on lately. Also, I am at 30 minutes on this video. I am so sorry. None of you are going to want to watch this. I'm sorry. But you can watch it in segments. You can watch 2 minutes. You can watch none of it. It's fine. It's all whatever you want to do. So yeah, that was the self-care one. The fourth one, what was the fourth one? Teaching, social life, self-care. I think I talked about the food already. Was food the last one that I talked about? I don't remember. Maybe it'll come back. I really don't remember. Maybe it was spiritual life, which I led into with self-care. It was probably that. So yeah, that's my focus for my spiritual life. So yeah, focusing on that. Hopefully, I think going to a church service will help me get more excited for that too. It's been better the past 3 or 4 days. I've been able to focus on it more, so that's good. Let's see. What was the last thing? I think the last thing was exploring. So exploring has been really good. I kind of talked about that a little bit with social life. Exploring new foods, exploring new places has all been amazing. I mean, if you know me, you know that I'm all about trying new things, going new places, doing new things, not staying in one place. And so yeah, that has been really nice for me to explore new places. Some random challenges that I've had that I did not foresee. They couldn't open my bank account with my American phone number. So I had to find a way to buy an AT&T SIM card for a prepaid phone to give to the bank as my number. And I will have to use that card for one time. I'll have to pop it into my phone and use that card to activate an app. And then I can take that card back out and never use it again. But I had to go buy a SIM card just for to have a Mexican number to attach to the bank account. So that's been interesting. But yeah, so we're getting that fixed. So I should have a bank account in the next week or so before our next payday. So yay, I'm excited about that. Oh my gosh, big news that I forgot happened between the first video and now. I got my temporary residency card. I am completely done with the immigration process. I have my temporary residency. Yay. I have no idea what I'm doing after this 1.5 year contract is up. But I also found out that if I decided I wanted to become a permanent resident in Mexico, that I have to work here for 5 years, and then I can be a permanent resident. So, who knows? I don't know what I'm gonna do. I barely even know what I'm eating. Actually, I don't. I don't know what I'm gonna eat tomorrow. So I really don't know what I'm doing 2 years from now. But it's okay. I am full confidence that God will lead me where I'm supposed to be, just like He led me here. This experience so far has been super challenging, but super rewarding, and I'm learning so much. I can't even express how much I'm learning. Learning the language is coming way more slowly than I want it to, but I've resigned myself to that fact, and I just keep working on it every day, and eventually I will get to where I can function. But yeah, so I think that's pretty good update. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I am super thankful. I'm super excited. I still love it. For anyone who's concerned, because I did talk about some struggles in this video, I love it. I would not choose to be anywhere else right now. There's no way. I love what I'm doing. I love that God has given me this opportunity. I'm so thankful to Him for allowing things to work the way they have, because I could not have asked for a better host family. I couldn't have asked for a better school to be at. I couldn't ask for better co-teachers. I can't even express how thankful I am for everything He's done to prepare this way. I only pray that I can be the light that He's called me to be here, and that I can do all the works that He's put in front of me to do. Oh, goodness. I'm trying to break my computer. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much everything for now. As always, if you had any questions, concerns, or comments, just let me know. It's so good to know that I have such a support system, and I thank you all so much for your prayers and your support, and I will see you next time.